All right, guys, welcome to DeFi Now. I'm Josh Cross, and here with me is the one and only PelleK. PelleK is an absolutely incredible singer and songwriter whose YouTube channel has almost 4 million subscribers. Recently, he became the first musician in history to release an NFT album. We'll talk all about this and his dynamic NFT album that he's made in partnership with Bondly. We'll talk about his VIP membership NFTs that give access to the private Discord group. Talk about his love of fishing for Polkapets and a lot more. All right, PelleK, how are you, my friend?
I'm good, Josh. How are you, bro?
I'm good. Yeah, good. We had to reschedule this from yesterday because I was having some technical difficulties. So I appreciate the flexibility there.
Absolutely, man. Of course. We even have our own NFT together, you and me, right?
We do. I'll put a picture of it on the screen. We've got you after you did some fishing for bridge.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a fun one. Cool. Yeah. So we got a lot of stuff I want to talk to you about. The Bondly communities definitely knows you really well. Done a lot of stuff with Bondly. Let's talk a little bit about that. Do you want to start talking about your experience with Bondly, kind of how that's gone?
Yeah, so I've ended up doing so much for Bondly now, so I'm kind of actually thinking about just like taking a big break from all my YouTube stuff because I have so much work for them and it's so rewarding and it's so cool. So for Bondly, I get to create music, and it started out with me making the opening to Transcend. You know, that's the anime with Farzin and all these characters that you all know. And then I just started talking a lot to Brandon, and we were like thinking in the same way. And then I just pitched a lot of ideas to him for songs, and he loved it. And so it ended up with me taking a position as senior creative director at Bondly. So now I've been doing music for Polkapets, obviously the DTS, Darken the Shadow, and Transcend, and even just like ads for Polkapets and stuff, all these stuff. I have a team now who do all these things, the music things. So yeah, that's how it started.
Yeah, so let's get into doing the NFTs for artists and things like that because you've very successful YouTube channel, put out tons and tons of videos. You're saying that it's you don't get a whole lot out of it for the amount of effort that you put into it, and NFTs change that, right?
In a way, I mean, like on YouTube platform itself, as I'm sure you know, because you're on YouTube and you also work with NFTs. So the amount of, from a financial perspective, what you get back in terms of money is very little, right? Like that, like this is also, I suppose, kind of connected to the whole adpocalypse we had a few years back. I don't really know the details of why it is the way it is because Spotify pays way much, like tons more. Um, but YouTube in itself, which is my main platform, and which also means more to me than money. But yeah, it's rough. That's why a lot of artists have to have platforms like Patreon, or do sponsored stuff for like mobile phone games, all these things, because we have expenses too, and there are more expenses to think about than people think about. Like I have a producer I've had for 5 years. I don't want to pay him a low salary, right? I want to pay him a good salary. So NFT makes this much easier. It also gives, for me personally at least, more freedom to create stuff for the people who support my NFTs instead of just producing what I kind of have to do to get a certain million amount of views every month to make the money on ads. So yeah, it makes it so it's so much easier for me to give more back to my NFT holders, and also makes my life just so much better. I've been getting so much love in my community too now and on Bondly because I'm doing so much, and that comes from me just creating nonstop. Like I said, last year I did 112 Disney songs, or like one every day for 112 days. Very costly project because I didn't do the music. I didn't have time because I was singing every day. And now I'm at this point where I don't have to like push out one song every day. Instead, I can create what I want to do, what I want to create. And then it feels so natural to just give back. So that's why I've been giving all my NFT holders like all these Polkapets and extra NFTs, all this stuff that I've been doing for them. I think it shines through in that way. Like people can see, okay, so this is it's something that's really cool for artists. I mean, yeah, sure, artists, but like I'm one of the first, so we haven't seen this a lot yet. But I think this is going to be the trend moving forward because I see how much it makes my life better, and how I can also give more value to the people who support me with buying my NFTs and be in my community.
Awesome. Yeah, let's talk a little bit about your first NFTs. The first one you did was the single one, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So I actually bought that at the launch. It sold, I believe, 100 of them at launch, and they sold out in about 10 seconds. It was just
Yes.
insane how fast they sold out. And I remember you
Yeah.
saying that like none of your family members or anybody got one because the Bonnley community just bought them all up.
Yeah, I I had because I had heard talks about this before releasing that it might sell out pretty quick, but I didn't know how quick. So I told like my fiance because I've been into crypto for many years, and so I told my fiance to like be ready on OpenSea or on BSwap and a couple of friends and I like just be ready. I'll tell you when it's out, and then I was gonna write like okay now, and then I just and it's gone. So it was funny, but is and this has kind of been a trend too for my for the NFTs. I had never thought that coming from regardless of even though so like I have millions of subscribers and all this stuff, which is great, but in terms of making money for like an album, which you always pay tons of money to make an album, it's costly to make an album. And just my last album before this one, just flying people in to make a music video was like about like $13,000 or something, just to fly them in and have them do that job. And on Kickstarter I probably made like I don't know, like 25,000 or something now. And so it's just like you're just breaking even kind of with these projects because it's such a passionate thing. Making these covers, that's where you get your money. You can play some ads if you have a sponsor and stuff. But this is like this is what a lot of cover artists and people in my position want to do, is to create music, right? But when you do it, it's so expensive. So having this opportunity now to have NFT support me doing what I really want to do is amazing. And yeah, Darken the Shadow, we sold 200 and about 0.4 ETH, and the price at ETH at the moment was about like 2K. So it's like $160,000. And that was faster than I could even share it with my fans. So that's just all the community. So, and I'm so extremely thankful for that too, which is why I also all the time try to give back to my community by doing giveaways and voice chats and all these things. Like I'm trying to do all I can. It's kind of overwhelming to come from like 13, I think it's 12 or 13 years now of YouTube, very massive grind. I was one of the first people to do like music stuff on YouTube. And it's overwhelming to see how much people support me in this community in comparison to how much support I've been getting from all these people. Like I don't even know how much it is over time. And don't get me wrong, I love everyone who watched my YouTube videos. I'm very thankful for that too. But it just makes my life so much easier when I can wake up and think, what am I gonna create today out of like what can I write and produce, instead of okay, what can I look at trying to like change something else that people already know about. So for me personally, that means a lot. So I can get that kind of artistic freedom. Basically, that's what it is.
So you get the freedom to make the things that you want to make rather than just trying to take something that's already popular and giving your own spin on it.
Yep, there you go.
So let's talk a little bit more about the Darken the Shadows album. This is a really cool idea because you basically sold the album ahead of time, like you were saying, and they sold out really quickly. And then people who own the NFT album are now getting dropped the tracks as they're made. So it's like this dynamic kind of Kickstarter style album. So if you want to maybe touch a little bit on how that the dynamics of that are all going.
Yeah. Okay. So I mean, you're right. So it is collectible too. So I think that's part of the reason why people would buy it. And also I did say when we released it that they are gonna get airdropped all the tracks, and so they already got 2 more NFTs, and they're gonna get all the songs. And part of the utility that I announced was more extra tracks that only will be sent to NFT holders. They will only be like in the shape of NFT, right? And lots of other things as well. So like I try to put a lot of good utility in there. But it's in the sense of, in the NFT space, it's new, but the only reason it's new is because I'm the first one who did the album as an NFT, right? But it's not new in the sense of releasing an album. It's very common for people to pre-order or pre-release album. People pay for it, then they wait for it. So that's not new in that sense. But I mean, given that the fact that this is the first NFT music album, everything is new. So I chose to do it that way because I have so many. The tracks were done, but given that all the support I've had in this community, especially with the Bondley boys, right? I just want to do the best I could. And I know that if I have like a few more months to release the tracks, I can take these bangers. Like I wouldn't have Tory Lanez on this next track I'm releasing this weekend or at the start of next week if I had to release it at the time of releasing the album. So it's just another thing to give more value to the people who hold my NFT. That's what it is.
Okay, yeah. So it's still like you're saying, pre-ordering albums is a thing, but in this case, because of NFTs, it's almost like having a digital vinyl version of it because it has the collectible nature of it. So you have, people can still buy songs on Spotify or iTunes or wherever, but for the hardcore fans, they would typically, want the vinyl of it so that they can have this collection. But in this case, now you have a digital version of that.
For sure, and that's also something that I always tell because I've talked to a lot of musicians about NFTs, and one of their biggest concerns is like, well, we want our music to go out to like everyone, our fans, and so what we always say is like an and, not an or. That's very important for musicians to know that you can release your NFT, right, and get part of this community and the crypto community and everything, but doesn't mean you don't have it doesn't mean you can't release on Spotify and iTunes and stuff. So yeah, and not an or. Very important.
I wanted to talk to you a little bit about. Actually, let's see. So I pulled in a bunch of questions from my explorers group to see what questions people had. I got a lot of really good questions coming in. Oh yeah, here's an interesting question. So as the world opens back up and people are able to travel and people are able to do concerts and things like that again, how do you think that once the physical world opens up again, how it'll affect the space?
I think it's going to affect the space in the sense that more utility is going to be in the real world and not just on a blockchain and on internet. So, and like I said before, I'll probably do concerts again, and you never know. I might even make a DTS tour, right? And bring all these artists in, and we do tours with Darken the Shadow or Transcend. You never know. Or maybe just me and Kevin will hit the road and do a Polkapets tour. You never know, right? And so for that, I think the NFT holders are gonna get those that utility, and that's a big part of my whole game plan for all this. It's like I don't expect Corona or COVID-19 to last forever. The world's gonna open up at some point unless we get like a zombie apocalypse or whatever the fuck, but it's gonna hopefully get back to normal. For me personally, I've been sat inside my house and working with music and stuff for so many years. I don't even notice this, but I can totally tell from everyone else I know, including my fiance, like people are just driving people crazy, this Corona thing, right? They want to do this and do that and travel and everything, and I've toured so much and been like everywhere, so I don't really need it, but I see it for everyone else how much they need it. So it's also like an obligation I feel like I have when the world opens up again. I should probably tour. I should do at least some concerts in a few different continents. So then NFT holders, they're going to be VIPs, as much VIPs as you can get. And I've never sold VIP tickets to any shows or anything. So and technically, I don't know how you do it. If you just show your ETH address, whatever you do when you come to but I would make sure that my NFT holders get taken care of 100%.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point. As things open up again, there's a lot more freedom of different kind of utilities that you can give to your holders. So yeah, that's a really good point. When you're collaborating with different artists and reaching out to different artists that you want to do a collaboration with, can you talk about like how the networking goes and kind of your experience that you've had there?
Yeah, I actually learned about it yesterday. So because I haven't done it myself, I have a guy. His name is Richie or Rich, who contacts all these artists for me, and he's a manager and A&R guy. He has like all the contacts in the world. He's super talented. And Rich, if you watch this, you're amazing, man. He basically, I say I want to work with this man, this woman, and all these people, right? And he gets in touch, and then we negotiate. And I didn't know until yesterday, like I said before, I hadn't seen an email he writes out, but it's really good at writing emails. So he pitches these collaborations really well. And then I wish I could leak some proper alpha. I already think I said a bit too much at the intro. But yeah, we have some amazing names. We're talking about the NFT aspect in all of this as well. I think artists are excited about that, something new. And also, I think we're kind of lucky. We have, like, even though COVID is a nightmare for everyone, the one positive thing is that for us musicians, that people aren't touring, so everyone are more willing to record right now because they're just sat at home. So that's gonna help. That's helping us a bit. So we still haven't had a single no from any artist. But then again, without trying to sound narcissistic or anything, this is the best album I ever made. So and that's what everyone says. We've been talking to some of the biggest artists on the planet, and they said this is a freaking great song. So I'm very happy with it. But then again, this is because of NFTs and because of Bondly, because I wouldn't have the time to sit down for like 2 weeks and write one song and like pour everything, my heart and soul into a song and make it that good, because I wouldn't have the option before. Because I would have thought, okay, what's the next cover? When's the next concert in this country? All these things, right? All these things I have to do. Now I have freedom because of, I know that, okay, so people already bought the album. It's funded for more money than I would have been funded for on Kickstarter in the past. And now I can just allow myself to write music, and then I do it and I send it to the biggest stars and they love it. You totally get, and like I give to my my collaborators too on the album. I just give them total artistic freedom, and that's what I feel like I have to, because I don't have to, work my ass off to not be able to not worry about paying the bills next month.
Yeah, I think that's really good. That's one of the really amazing things about NFTs, that it kind of enables starving artists to be able to breathe and live again, and hopefully be able to do it full time rather than having to have a separate job that they use to pay the bills. So it's really amazing.
Yeah, for sure. And I just saw just the other day, my good friend Jonathan Young, we wrote there's a card game called Magic the Gathering. We wrote the song for this expansion together. That's a really big job we'd spent a lot of time on doing, and that was one of the last jobs I had before getting really into the NFT space. And he just released his original album too, and I read a tweet he tweeted out, like, he's like, I'm gonna ruin my career doing this because people don't care enough about my original music and stuff. And I'm like, oh fuck, man, I know the feeling, because I've done this for like probably not as long as I've been doing YouTube, which is like 13 years, but let's say for like at least 7 years, because I've released original albums and toured with it. And I know the feeling. People care more about your covers, right? So it's just like this nervous, shitty experience to release original music, and it shouldn't be that way. And that's just because of money. And so when you get into a space where people support you, and they have a token, they have a card, an NFT that you can pour utility into and value to them, then everyone wins.
I think another really, really interesting side of it is they kind of enable people to invest in an artist, because in a similar way that you would invest in a startup company. So if there's an artist that's an up and coming artist that is maybe struggling, but you really like their music and you think that there's potential, you can buy their NFT, and then it would be worth a lot more in the future if that artist becomes successful. And by buying that NFT, it helps to make them successful. So the whole dynamic of being able to invest in YouTubers or in artists, musicians, as well as any kind of artist, it's really amazing.
Yep, for sure, I agree.
Oh yes, we should talk a little bit more about Polkapets. You and I both have a lot of stuff that's going on with Polkapets there, and that's the Polkapets theme song is one of my favorite songs that I've been listening to on repeat so much lately. So do you want to share some stuff about how that's been going?
Yes. So the Polkapets theme song, I wrote that in January with one of my. I have a person I've hired pretty early in 2021. His name is William Graney, and he co-wrote this song with me. I'm super happy about it, and I know that a lot of the companies who have Polkapets love it too. So the song has, if we released it, I would have expected to maybe blow up. I don't know, but I know that in the community and with people who have Polkapets and stuff, they love it. So we do have plans for a release this week, actually, for not me. And I don't remember if I've said anything in the VIP about who it is, but we have an extra artist to do who's going to release a song. So we have different versions of it. It's Kevin Bennett and me on the vocals. I'm singing. He is rapping on the Polkapet Rap It. He's also the guy who does the Polkapet BBQ rap. And then we hired another artist, a big YouTuber, to do a female type of a version of it. And yeah, I love Polkapets. I've actually been kind of heartbroken because what had happened to me is like I bought all the Polkapets, and when I was going to release my Polkapet BBQ to the DTS holders, it was delayed. So I just said, sorry, I'll give you some of my Polkapets, and they gave away like 3 or 4. But then it was such a good time, so I ended up giving away like almost all my Polkapets. I just have like 3 or 4 left. So at some point I have to buy them all back. And I've been looking at bundles, and they're like 8 or 9 ETH or what it is now for all of them. So yeah, no, I love Polkapets.
Can you share when the Polkapet BBQ song is going to be released?
The Polkapet BBQ song is released. It's on OpenSea.
Oh, is it part of the Polkapet BBQ NFT that you released? I didn't know there's a song attached to it.
Yeah, you could just click it and then you can listen to it. It's on there.
Oh
yeah.
Man, okay. Well, I know what I'm gonna do after this interview.
It's hilarious. It's so good. I hope you. Yeah, it's that. It's so funny, and it goes through like burning all these Polkapets, and it's really funny. Yeah. So yeah, after this interview, you should go listen and just DM me what you think. It's really fun.
For those people who aren't aware, the whole burning the Polkapets meme comes from the idea that when you own a Polkapet, you can eventually, once Spawnly builds this out, you'd be able to burn it. So send it to a burn address, and by doing that, there's a chance that you're going to win a legendary version of that Polkapet. So there's this whole like. Yes, but go ahead.
No, yeah, but I didn't know that when we started talking about the meme, because this was during one of Brandon's Twitch streams, right? And I didn't know that you could actually send it to the burn address and potentially get something. I just thought it was so funny that because I'm a Polkapet collector and spending some of my money, quite a bit of my money buying these Polkapets, and just someone said in chat, like, let's just burn them. And that was the first time I heard about the concept of burning. I was like, what does that do? Just kills the card, deletes the card. Like, why? And just someone like, yeah, just why not? And I thought it was so funny. And so that's what the song is based around. It's just like, because there's the narrative of someone who has so much money, he buys these Polkapets and just burns them for no reason. So that was an initial idea. And then later on, I learned that you can actually get value from sending to the burn address. I didn't know that. So that's why the song is so funny.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. I didn't know that you didn't know that. Yeah, the whole thing is that, you burn them because then there's fewer of them, and then that makes the ones that are left more valuable. But then it's a question of, well, I don't want to burn mine. You burn yours.
Yes. Yeah.
That's really funny. Well, awesome. Yeah, is there anything else that you wanted to share about this? I was actually thinking what you were saying about how difficult it is to get new people, and I mentioned previously about doing kind of like an NFT course, and maybe that's something I really need to put higher on the priority list and make it a video explaining how to make NFTs, so that, because you're saying you don't have the ability to help all these people anymore. So if we had, maybe a course or even just a few videos that kind of show how to make MetaMask, how to mint your NFTs, kind of how to go through the thought process of utilities and how many and how much you should charge and things like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's the most important thing is kind of understanding why NFTs is why they're so valuable for everyone, and that is again linked to the utility, and obviously also the whole collectability thing and how it's tradable is also part of it. But for me, especially, utility is so important. So the most important thing is to make people understand this. A lot of people just see NFTs and see someone put out an NFT, and you don't hear anything about utility. You're not part of the community, and then they just think like, okay, so why am I buying it? So then they're thinking, okay, because I can maybe keep it and sell it later. But if they understand the whole concept of the utility or perks or whatever you want to call it, you can call it so many things, VIP access to this and that, but all it is utility, and so that's the responsibility of the artist. I'm speaking from a musician perspective now, but the artist who makes who mints an NFT is to give the utility so it's valuable, and so people who hold it like, yeah, man, every week or potentially or possibly also several times a week, like, I'm so happy I got this because now I got this and now I got this and all these things.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I think that's something that's missing a lot in the NFT space is adding utilities, because there's so many that are just created and hey, this has value because I only minted 10 of them, but it's just, that's the only
Yeah.
reason it has value. It needs to have something more than that.
Yeah, I know, and I see people sending me, because all the people that start telling, I have a lot of like friends in my real life friends group, like, who say like, oh, I look at like this person minted an NFT, and how cool is that? Like, I don't think it's so cool. I don't see the utility in it. And I also see all these people releasing like clips of a song, like 10-second song. It's not that cool. People should make a full song, should be relevant, related art, and it should have more utility so people get value for it. So everyone wins and everyone's part of this thing, and it's not like you buy something just for the fact like, I hope it's going to increase in value. It should be more than that, and that's also why I think my NFTs are doing so good. And I know that was one of your last questions, and I can give you a surprise then. Everyone who asked the question, send me their ETH address, and I'll send them a Transcend card as thanks for them giving me those questions. I hope there's not. I only have like 10 left, but I don't think you asked more than 10 questions.
Yeah, I think. Well, I don't think that there's more than 10 people that asked questions. I think that's that. Yeah, that'd be awesome.
You
I'll
have
let
to
them
send me
know.
the ones you actually ask me. Those people will get a Transcend card.
Yeah, well, since they're in the explorers group, I probably have their ETH addresses, and I can just give you their ETH addresses, and we can surprise them before the video goes out. So that'd be cool.
Yes, let's do it. Then you
Uh,
can actually get their names too and say like, congrats to all these guys.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. Before we wrap up, is there anything else in the near future? I know there's things you can't share, but anything else that you should look forward to in the next week or a couple weeks out of here?
Oof. Yeah. Dude, what can I leak? It's rough, Josh. I think those Transcend giveaways to your explorers who ask these questions is gonna be the most I can do, to be honest, because there was a lot of stuff, but basically this album is so big, and I'm having Rich reach out to all of these huge names, and we have some we're about to close, and we also have some songs that are like just so good, and everything attached to it, what mainstream media is are prepared to say about it and everything. So I wish I could say more, but I just don't want to wake up after your video goes out and get like 100 messages from people pissed off and like whatever record labels. No, we didn't say. You know what I mean? I don't want to get in trouble. The only thing I want to say that's important you get in is that I really, really, really appreciate everyone who's in this community, both in yours and mine, who support these NFTs and who get all of this utility and stuff that we're getting to them, and that they know how important that is to me, and I'm sure to you as well. That's why we're working so hard to create more utility for the people who hold our NFTs, which is what makes this real and what makes it valuable. So yeah, that's very important to me. I keep saying it to artists, and I keep trying to give. I've given away like 70% of my whole entire wallet. I had tons of NFTs. And just like 3 days ago too, I bought an NFT from one of my NFT holders for like 0.7 ETH just to support, because he's been nice to me, right? So I try to give back all the time, and that's what you're gonna get if you hold any of my NFTs. Is just a lot of support and thanks, and I'm gonna keep making sure that everyone who holds my NFTs are taken care of.
That's excellent. Yeah, I think you're doing a fantastic job at it. I think the community, both the Bonnley community and the PelleK VIP group, they're so excited all the time. It's a really active community. They definitely really show that how excited they are and how close the community is. So yeah, I think you're doing an excellent job at it.
Nice, thank you. Yeah, they're amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, I appreciate the interview, PelleK. This has been really awesome. I'm excited to get this out, get the word of NFTs out. I think you're setting a really good example for other people making their NFTs, of giving them as much utility and bringing as much value to the fans as possible. It's great.
Nice, thank you so much. That's what I'm trying to do. I appreciate it, Josh.
Yeah, thanks, PelleK. I'll see you.